Hello and welcome to Stampin' by Hannah. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK, and I'm so happy that you've chosen to join me for this fun Make It Monday video. I recently attended a team craft day with some members of my Stampin' Up team, and one of the things we do when we get together as Stampin' Up demonstrators is we swap cards, and this time I signed up for 2 swaps, so this Monday's card and next Monday's card will both be swaps that I created for this event. And I made 6, I'm going to make 6 of these. I made 5 and I've got one more that I shared with other members of my team, and I thought they were really cool. But just before I get on to making the card, I do want to just mention about the Stampin' Up opportunity with you. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I would be so honoured if you choose me as either your demonstrator as a customer, or as your team leader if you decide to join and become a part of something absolutely awesome. The Stampin' Up opportunity, you can join anytime, whenever you like, it's not a problem. At the moment we don't have any special offers on the starter kit. But the standard starter kit offer is you pay £99, you get to choose £130 worth of Stampin' Up goodness from either this Christmas catalogue or the annual, or any pre-orders we've got going on, anything like that. So you automatically get free stuff. You're automatically getting £31 worth of Stampin' Up products completely for free. You don't have to do anything with that kit. You don't have to demonstrate. You don't have to do videos. You don't have to do anything. You can literally buy the kit and run if that's what you like. Or you can be a happy hobbyist, a happy shopper, and get 20% off your Stampin' Up purchases for the time of being a demonstrator, which would be a minimum of 3 months. At the moment, I think you'd be, if you joined right today, you'd be a demonstrator through till the end of December. If you didn't meet your minimums, you'd then drop. The minimums are really small. It's £225 every 3 months, which is £75 a month. That's £34 a fortnight. Just have a think about that one. I'm going to leave that one with you, and we're going to make some cards. Oh, because I can talk about joining Stampin' Up and the amazing things that it does for everybody. The amazing things it's done for me. I can wax lyrical about it and talk about it all day. But let's make this card. So this uses a technique. I know it's not a technique video, it's a Make It Monday, but we're going to do technique today, and I call this stained glass, or faux stained glass. And it uses vellum and Stampin' Up markers. And it's really easy, so let's get going, shall we? So I have got the Happy Birthday Gorgeous stamp set. I love this, I think it's beautiful. And it goes with that beautiful Happy Birthday thin die that's just beautiful, really, really beautiful. And I've made so many cards with this set, I cannot, it's an absolute favourite, and I won't be selling this if it ever retires. It better not retire, Stampin' Up, I'll be really upset. But this is one of those really versatile stamp sets. It's got happy birthday, it's got congratulations, it's got all sorts in it, and I love it. And then these flowers are beautiful. So I have also then got a card base in soft sky, a piece of Whisper White and a piece of vellum that are the same size, and a piece of Island Indigo that is the same width as my card base, but it's only 1 centimetre tall. So, shall we get started? Okay, so the other thing you're going to need, as well as your piece of vellum, is the Layering Circles framelits dies. Now this isn't to die cut anything, but it's literally to use as a template for your wreath. Basically, is what we're going to do. We're going to draw a circle, and it will be our wreath. So I'm going to grab a pencil, and I'm just going to draw in pencil around the die, just so that I have a template of where I'm going to do my stamping. I'm going to turn it over, and we're going to heat emboss on this. So I've got my white Stampin' Emboss powder, I've got my Versamark, and I've got my embossing body. Now this is really important on vellum because vellum's very staticky, and if you don't do this you'll end up with bits of embossing powder all over. So I'm going to cover my vellum really well in the anti-static powder, and then I've got 4 stamps handy. So I've got 2 flowers and 2 leaves. And I'm just going to grab out my eraser, because the bit that I forget about this is to erase my pencil lines afterwards. I'm going to hold my hands up. So we're going to, you can do a few at a time. We're going to stamp in Versamark onto the vellum. Now I don't know, I doubt you'll be able to see anything I'm doing, because I'm stamping a completely clear ink onto a clear surface. I know that's not exactly the greatest video you'll have ever seen. I can see where these are, where the lines are, so I'm just going to grab my spoon and I'm going to pop some white embossing powder on to my card, onto the vellum, and then can you see how pretty that is? It's beautiful. So I'm going to just carry on stamping in Versamark onto the vellum. Now Versamark is a clear sticky ink that is designed for heat embossing, and it takes a little while to dry, and it takes even longer to dry on vellum. Ink takes a little while to dry on vellum anyway, but the Versamark, which is a slow drying ink, because it is basically just like glue, takes even longer. So you have got a bit of time, and I did, when I was doing the other 5, I did find that I could actually stamp most of the circle. I could do a full half a circle before I needed to stop and put embossing powder on. So let me just tidy up a little bit, because we're going to get our heat gun out in a second and just heat emboss that. So your Stampin' Up heat gun has 2 settings on it. It has off, 1 and 2, and to heat vellum you really only need it on the first setting because it's very delicate. So I'm going to go and do that and I'll be back with you. Okay, so I've heat embossed that, and as you can see it's now gone really shiny and it's so pretty. What we're going to do is we're going to turn it over again, and we're going to take our white eraser and just erase those pencil lines, otherwise you will be able to see them through your vellum, through your cardstock. So, and then we've got our Stampin' Up markers, and this is where the trick of this lies, is that we're going to colour the images from behind with our inks. Now with our Stampin' Up markers. Now I know you're thinking, Han, you've got leaves and there's no green, and the reason for that is that this was a swap that was a colour challenge. So we were challenged to make a card using Island Indigo, Soft Sky, Flirty Flamingo and Whisper White. And this is what I came up with, and then thought, oh no, there's no green. But that's fine, that's absolutely fine. I'm just going to have blue leaves. So I'm going to take my Soft Sky first, and I'm going to just colour where the leaves are, but on the reverse. Now this does take a little minute to dry, but the reason I'm doing the Soft Sky layer first is because we're actually going to go back over the Soft Sky afterwards. Because it's a really pale colour, it can always do with another layer of colour over the top, otherwise you don't see it very well. So I'm going to take my Island Indigo and I'm going to do the same with the round flowers. Little Island Indigo flowers. I'm sure that you will never find this colour in nature on a flower of that type, but I am using artistic license. And then Flirty Flamingo for the other flowers. Now, like I said before, vellum causes the ink to take a little while to dry because it's a smooth type of paper. It's not designed for things to sink into it. So it can take a little while for these to dry, and I would advise that you give it a good half an hour before you start assembling your cards, if this is what, because it can smudge, and I don't want you to smudge anything, ever. Believe me, I have done this often enough to know. So I'm going to just go back over that soft sky again, just to really intensify that colour. And you don't need to do this with the other colours, because the other colours are dark enough as it is. And you're going to look at it and go, oh, but Han, that's an absolute mess. That's an absolute mess. How on earth are you going to send that to anybody? Well, if you turn it over, it's not a mess, it's pretty then. So, let's bring our layers back in. And I am going to just leave that to dry for a second while we deal with our sentiment. So this is our sentiment strip, and I am going to use the Happy Birthday sentiment from the Happy Birthday Gorgeous stamp set. So I'll just get that onto my block. I'm going to use my embossing buddy again because I don't want stray bits of white embossing all over. Like so. I'm going to take my Versamark pad and I'm going to ink up my sentiment in Versamark. I love doing this type of card, and I love doing this kind of card as a swap. I had a whole day yesterday, not yesterday as you watch this, but yesterday as in the day that I'm filming, and I made something like 34 cards all day, and it was fantastic. I had such a crafty day, it was lovely. But the act of just repetitive stamping I absolutely love. I can bulk make cards all week, love it. So we're going to just heat emboss that. Okay, so I've now heated that, and that is now beautifully embossed and shiny and lovely. This has now dried, so I'm going to adhere it onto my piece of Whisper White. Now the way I'm going to do this is with staples, and I am going to be very naughty because you can't get this stapler anymore, and I'm really sad that Stampin' Up decided to retire it, but it's the best one I've got. You could use a office stapler or a, I'm going to swear here, Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher would do exactly the same, and would just to adhere the vellum, and it's beautiful vellum, but it's really difficult to attach on sometimes, so because you can see all the adhesive through it. So I like to use an adhesive like that, where it, like, not a staple as an adhesive, but a way of attaching it onto your card where you make a feature of it. I love that. So I'm going to use Fast Fuse on there just to adhere that all down, and then I'm going to grab for my foam adhesive strips, and I'm going to put foam adhesive all the way along the back of the sentiment strip, and I'm going to adhere that across there. And that is how to do stained glass, the stained glass technique, and how I made my swaps for my team training event. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you've seen anything in this video that you want to purchase, you can find all the details in the down bar below, the link to my online store and the link to my blog, stampinbyhannah.co.uk. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.